video we are doing sample number 1. So for sample number 1, you need to print out your page from module number 1. So it should be included. You have sample 1, 2, and 3, but I'm gonna demo the first one, so you can put your others to the side for right now. And you're also gonna need to cut from your muslin. You can take your muslin fabric. This is a big piece. You're gonna cut 2 pieces of fabric that are the size of 8.5 by 11. So it's the size of a sheet of regular paper. So I'm gonna take this, and I will just take what I printed out, and I'm gonna just, it doesn't have to be perfect, so I'm just gonna lay it on top of my fabric, and I'm gonna cut it out. So we are working on sample for notebook number 1. I'm gonna put my muslin to the side, and we're gonna draw these lines onto just one of our pieces of muslin that we just cut. So you can put your piece underneath and trace it. And it can be a pencil, a pen, it can be a Sharpie, whatever you want. I'm gonna use a ruler so that I get really straight lines. Oops. Compress. So just draw and then before you can sew it, you're going to sew it with 2 layers of fabric. Works much better. Don't have to pin it. It works fine without pinning. So then we're going to go to our sewing machine. Now it's already threaded. So look at the other video for threading if you haven't threaded it yet. You want to start with your threads behind you. We're going to start. So the purpose of this sample is just to practice stitching a straight line and to see if your sewing machine is working properly, and to kind of learn your way around the sewing machine. So on the school sewing machines, we have these buttons here that move the presser foot. This is called your presser foot. It moves the presser foot up and down. Underneath here, these are called your feed dogs. Your feed dogs move the fabric through the machine. I want you to practice. Your hands are there just to guide the fabric. You're not pushing or pulling the fabric. In fact, it's even better if you just get into the habit of using one hand to guide, and the other hand is over here to have, take your pins out or to work any buttons. So get into that habit early on, that you're not pushing or pulling your fabric. So you're going to lower your presser foot, and then you're going to stitch a couple stitches. This button here, and on all machines it's going to look the same, does a reverse stitch. I'm going to ask you to do a couple reverse stitches by pressing on it. 1, 2, 3. Release it. It stitches forward again, and you're just going to practice staying on the line. If you need to stitch really slowly, stitch really slowly. Go all the way to the end, and when you get to the end, you're going to get all the way to the end. You're going to press that button again. You're going to do 1, 2, 3 reverse stitches, stitch forward, and then you're going to either press the button to raise your presser foot. If you have a different type of machine that you need to reach in the back and raise the presser foot that way, you're going to do that. Pull your threads off to the side and clip. Some of you might have a machine that doesn't automatically lift the needle out of the fabric, so you're going to have to turn your wheel so that the needle is in the highest position. When the needle's in the highest position, it releases those threads. If you don't do that, it knots the thread. So just make sure that you are rolling your wheel towards you to release the threads. Then you're going to do that for each of the lines. That's sample 1, done.